I want to share with you something that David shared with us when he said, "I'm very happy because I can really study now. The boys' shelter provided for my medications when I was sick. They also provided for my school materials. Because the Love146 boys' shelter, I no longer have to be sold on the street." When Love146 first began, we began by listening. Listening to both organizations that were in the fight a lot longer than we were, listening to experts in the field, and most importantly, we began listening to children to find out what the needs were of specific children. And one of the needs that we identified in the very beginning was finding places where children could be safe after they were rescued, where they could begin their journey toward recovery. And so we began to identify existing shelters and recovery centers that we could partner with and support their work. We began to expand some of those facilities and then eventually opening our own in the Philippines. And through the years, we've had dozens of girls go through our round home in the Philippines and on their journey of recovery. And it's been an amazing process. And we continue to learn along the way. And one of the things that we've done recently within the last year and a half was we identified a community where there were vulnerable families, specifically vulnerable children. It was a community in a red light district in the Philippines, mostly homeless families that were living there. And we started seeing kids that were being exploited even by their own families for food. Pedophiles would come to this red light district and literally stay in hotels surrounding this park and this community and would prey on these children and prey on the vulnerabilities of these families. So we began to plant ourselves in this park. We started a feeding program. We started providing for the medical needs of the children and the families that were there, and even providing for their education to try to combat what was happening there. And through that process, we saw four girls come to our shelter in the Philippines, to the round home. They're the youngest kids that we've ever had, the youngest being 6 years old when she came to the round home, just recently turned 7 years old. And just heartbreaking and heart-wrenching stuff, but now they're in a place that is safe. They're beginning their road to recovery. And through that process, eventually we had a 14-year-old boy come to us. And it was the first time in that community that we had a boy come. And after him, more boys starting to come. And so we started trying to figure out how do we meet the needs of boys. And so now we've just recently opened a shelter for boys also. And it was interesting because one boy, the first boy that came, his name was David. And his stepfather actually was severely abusive. His mother wasn't in the picture at all. So he had run away from home and he was living in this park. And to provide for himself, whether it be food or an education, he recognizes that he really had a heart for learning. He recognized that education was probably his ticket out of this situation. So pedophiles preyed on his vulnerability and would pay him, and he would use that money after being exploited to pay for his schooling. And he would go to school the next day. And so we brought David into our care, and he's been with us now. And again, we've had 8 other boys come into our care, and we've been able to start this boys' shelter. So we continue to learn, we continue to grow as we learn, and now it's brought us into caring for boys in the Philippines as well as girls, and you've been a part of helping make that happen.